Hey guys, welcome back. Today I am going to do something different. I'm going to focus on East Africa and why this is very important in the case of Uganda. I'm very convinced that the African Union is nothing but a cesspool, a recycle bin of dictators. That is pretty much what it really is. There is no way you can convince me otherwise. If this is your first time, this is the Uganda Awakening. I'm going to react to a video that is majorly the main inspiration behind this particular video. The creator that made this video, I would like to give him a shout out. His name, the channel is called Mokua Times. And he begins with the video by showing a speech by Barack Obama about democracy, mainly targeting African leaders. It is a very insightful speech that gives us some clarity as to how democracy is supposed to play out. Yes, please, I have to remind you to subscribe. I had such an ambitious target that by now it could have been already 1,000 subscribers, but this goal is still that. Let's get it before the year ends. It's quite ambitious, but we can do it. Please like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Yeah, let's go for it.
Somehow magically gets 90% of the vote because all the opposition is locked up or can't get on TV. It's a democracy. Democracy depends on strong institutions, and it's about minority rights and checks and balances and freedom of speech and freedom of expression and a free press and the right to protest and petition the government and an independent judiciary and everybody having to follow the law.
Yeah, you have heard that. Democracy is about all those things that Obama has mentioned. Checks and balances, a competent judiciary that is impartial, the opposition free to reach the masses just as much as the ruling government or whichever sitting president has that right. A free press, freedom of speech. This is like the bare minimum that most African countries, or if not all African countries, would like to have available for everyone, that everyone's voice is heard. It's all thanks to the destroyed institutions that are no longer empowered enough to serve the needs of the people. All the money that is diverted from those institutions is now lining your pockets, and you would care less for as long as you have access to the crumbs, the few crumbs that are falling off the table of the dictator. I am talking to you guys. So when all these institutions that are supposed to operate and make it possible for people to attain true democracy are disempowered, it is no longer a democracy. It is a dictatorship. It is tyranny. That's pretty much what this speech summarizes. That is one of the main important elements as to why I decided to start this channel, the Uganda Awakening. We have been in total shutdown for 40 years. The crazy thing is Ugandans are happy, especially those that are leaning towards the NRM. So they would rather say that this man is entitled to everything that he is getting as the president of Uganda because he brought peace. Peace. It is laughable. Let's continue with the second part of this video.
There are demonstrations and protests going on in Tanzania. But most of us have also not come across the videos of what is happening in Tanzania. So I took my time to listen to a person by the name The News Guy who is on TikTok. This gentleman, he has positioned himself in such a way that the people of Tanzania can send him clips on what is happening at the ground in Tanzania. So he has put a WhatsApp link there, which I clicked and managed to join that WhatsApp group. When I took my time to go through the videos that are there, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, Africans, what is wrong with us? What is wrong with us Africans? Which country in Europe where citizens can watch other citizens being killed and they don't ask anything? And then you have a section of other Africans who are celebrating such leaders. I'm telling you, when I went to that WhatsApp group, Tanzanians were lying down like sacks of maize, piled sacks of maize, bodies of young men and women, piled, blood all over, in the streets of Tanzania. Some of them, they were like somewhere close to a hospital or something. Deaths recorded in Tanzania. Then you'll get a leader in parliament praising people who have engaged in this kind of a massacre. That is not fair. Something must be wrong with Africans. That's why we'll always continue being slaves. We'll always be slaves, even to ourselves to some extent. Which country can allow people to be killed that way? Which police force can allow people to be killed that way? Which army can allow people to be killed that way and they just keep quiet? Which army can allow that?
Something happened in Madagascar. They protested and got rid of their president. Now, the only difference is that the military protected the people. The military was on the side of the people. Because you know what? That is how it's supposed to be. People have a right to protest, to peacefully protest, to air out their views and their desire of how the country is supposed to be run. And if you're not good enough, if you're incompetent, if you're not the leader that you promised to be, there are so many mechanisms that are supposed to be utilized through an election, through the protest, peaceful protesting. These people got rid of that president. Now, unlike Madagascar, Tanzanians were not that lucky. Cameroonians were not that lucky. And of course, Ugandans have always fallen short in this aspect because of how brutal Museveni and his criminals are against the people. Mokua Times asks a very, very important question. And it is so telling of who we are as Africans, because it is so exhausting trying to figure out what is wrong with us as a people, as Africans. It is so exhausting. The fact that we can watch on the sidelines, from the sidelines, while other people are being unalived, while other people are being abducted and their businesses are destroyed simply because of the fact that they are airing out their political opinion. Constitutionally, they are within their right to show dissatisfaction in the most civic way possible. Putting up placards and marching on the streets and saying, you know what, we are done. We cannot live in a country whereby prices are skyrocketing for basic needs of our households, while politicians are having all the privilege of distributing money to only a select few that are supporting them. In Nepal, children of these officials, of a select few, the ruling class, were busy showing off, flaunting their wealth that has been stolen from the people, taxpayers. And young people decided, no, you're not going to get away with this. You are not going to spit in our faces while we barely access anything to put in our stomachs. A meal a day is already in itself a tall order. People are becoming malnourished, and you are out there showing out bags worth thousands of dollars, flaunting your wealth. The Nepalese people said no. It is a very, very important question for us to answer, but each time we attempt to answer that question of what is wrong with us Africans, it is hard. And this is why I started with this video by saying that, you know what? The African Union is nothing but a cesspool, a recycle bin for dictators, because they are so good at keeping quiet when election violence is prevailing against the people of whichever country it is. They remain silent when people in Tanzania are being massacred by the military that is supposed to protect them. People in Uganda are being massacred by the military that's supposed to protect them. People in Sudan, name it, they are being unalive for their political opinion. They are very, very quiet. And you know what they do? They spit right into our faces once these dictators have their way. This woman has disappointed me. The president of Tanzania, 90% of the vote. Are you having a laugh? Mama Samia Suluhu? Come on, give me a break. 90%. Have you paved the streets of Dar es Salaam with gold and silver to the point that no one has the audacity to question you as a leader, to challenge you? Even when you still like an amateur, 90% of the vote. How dare you? This is diabolical in every sense of the word. And Uganda, I fear for my country because we are in the middle of campaign. We need to pray for Africa. Sometimes I feel we have outprayed ourselves. We as Africans, we have to deal with our bitter roots. We have to deal with our lack of humanity. We fall short of uniting against a select few people that are tormenting us every day, and making our lives a living hell. What do you think about the situation happening in Tanzania? If you want to go watch the full video of Mokua Times, the link is going to be in the description. I've only played a snippet of what he has had in terms of commentary. You have already seen he has admitted to having access to videos that the international media might not show you of what is happening in Tanzania. We need to keep the people of Tanzania in our prayers. Yeah. That is actually my father is actually Tanzanian. So there you have it. I really don't know what to do. Our continent needs help, and it can only come from within ourselves, because this business of thinking that someone out there is going to come and save Africa, we the Africans have to save ourselves from ourselves. I believe so. Let me know what you think. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe.